The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.
Here's an easy way for lawyers to improve their image. Use recycled paper. The American Bar Association estimates that America's 600,000 lawyers each use a ton of paper every year. Switching to 50% recycled stock would save over 5 million trees, 2 billion gallons of water, and 1 million cubic yards of landfill space. Recycling and using recycled products like they do here at Walt Disney World Resort near Orlando, Florida, is a good idea for any profession. Hello, I'm Ed Begley Jr., and this is Today's Environment, where we focus on what's being done to improve the planet we all share. The price we pay for beauty goes far beyond dollars and cents. Many products that help us look good leave tortured creatures and a contaminated earth in their wake. But one company crusades to protect animals and our planet. Beauty is only skin deep. Character comes straight from the heart. Just watch.
Who says there's no such thing as a free lunch? If these workers at John Paul Mitchell Systems bring in their own non-disposable dishes and utensils, well, lunch is free.
This program and many others make it very clear that the company intends to operate in harmony with the earth. Business will not be conducted at the expense of the environment, animals, or people. The co-founder, John Paul DeJuria, uses his hands-on management style to ensure that the growth of his hair care empire doesn't damage the natural kingdom. As an advocate for animal rights, he develops all of his products in a cruelty-free environment. No animals are ever used in testing. Aerosol products do not contain any ozone-depleting CFC-based chemicals. And even before New York and California cracked down on volatile organic compounds, these products were already well within the current legal limits. All bottles receive the plastic code number for efficient recycling, and all packing filler comes from shredded used packaging materials. Keeping the business environmentally responsible is only the first step in the campaign for Earth's survival. The power of the media can be a formidable weapon, and John Paul Mitchell Systems often harnesses that power to inspire others.
Listen to me. Do not, I repeat, do not ever throw a bottle or can out of your car window onto the highway.
The company underwrote a celebrity-studded public service campaign to promote recycling.
If you do, I will follow your car, I will come to your house, and I will tell you to your face, take it back.
Advancing the technology to harness sustainable alternate energy sources also stands out as a top priority in the company's earth-friendly agenda. John Paul DeJuria personally drove one of several company-financed solar-powered vehicles in a race across Australia. Another company grant will foster the development of a human-powered vehicle. The company's Hawaiian headquarters is both an experiment in self-sufficiency, and it also harvests the awapui plant, which is used in many of the company's products. Lush gardens and over 2,000 fruit trees provide sustenance, and all energy needs come from either the sun or water power.
My business reflects my personal beliefs. As a company with some power and influence, it's our duty to raise people's awarenesses about things like cruelty to animals, alternate energy sources, and the general preservation of the planet Earth.
In a market-driven economy where mighty corporations battle titans of industry, it's kind of reassuring to know that a company can think green and remain in the black, because it's those earnings that reflect profits that we all can share.
Did you know that by recycling one aluminum can, you're saving about enough energy to run your television set for about 3 hours? One empty can could be your ticket to watch the Super Bowl. Get involved with Today's Environment today.
No vacancy. That sign will be up on nearly all of our landfills in 15 years. It's no longer a matter of money, it's a matter of space. There isn't any left. We need to take a new approach to trash, and this may be a good one.
Here's the old formula for trash management. Pick it up, dump it. Pick it up, dump it. But that old formula adds up to a shortage of landfill space and an unforgivable waste of good resources. This engineer is working on a new formula for waste management. And so is this one. And the only thing piling up from this new formula may be profits, because it turns waste into a resource. You might expect these high-tech offices operated by Resource Incorporated to belong to an aerospace firm, but this company manages trash, mountains of it, piled high from one of the most densely populated places in the world, New York City. With an innovative perspective, refuse becomes resource, and a trash pickup service becomes a waste processing business, complete with a marketing department, research laboratories, computer-assisted design capabilities, and new product development teams. Not one single piece of the incoming trash goes to a landfill until it travels a quarter mile on a conveyor belt, where 90 different handlers scrutinize the loads and extract materials of value. Commodities such as metal, plastic, cardboard, paper, aluminum, wood, and other materials are marketed for reprocessing and recovery, saving tons and tons of valuable resources while generating profits for the company. With a little ingenuity, nearly everything can be recycled, and often value can be added with a processing operation. The company turns this waste wood into wood chips or compressed wood pellets to fuel pellet stoves. They actually produce this end product from the waste they get paid to collect. Applying science and technology to trash pays dividends for the investor, the city, and the environment. Officials at Resource point to figures that show their operation currently reduces what New York dumps into landfills by 1,800 tons per day. In what other business could you be paid to pick up the raw material you eventually sell? If taking this new perspective on today's refuse can give a modern waste company such a bright prospectus, what fortunes could await tomorrow's pioneers who open closed landfills to mine the buried treasures from yesterday's trash? Maybe in the years to come, the graveyards for our garbage will become the landfills of opportunity.
If the walls could talk, that concept offers many possibilities beyond merely revealing secrets hidden behind closed doors. Building components that can give us constant feedback about heat and light could help us optimize our energy usage. Here's a closer look.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Well, it took the three little pigs a house made of bricks and mortar to keep the beast from their door. Today, the wolf may be disguised as overinflated energy bills, and he can gobble up money faster than fresh pork. Bricks and mortar are no longer enough to keep this villain from blowing away budgets. To really beat the energy glutton, buildings need a brain. Computer-based tools to help reduce unnecessary energy use in buildings are now on the cutting edge of resource conservation efforts. A unique partnership forged by the Department of Energy is now bringing together industry and energy experts at the Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory and Texas A&M University. Together, they're creating new computerized tools to maximize energy conservation in buildings, thereby reducing the environmental impact associated with energy conversion and usage. At the design stage, new software helps engineers and architects incorporate the most current energy-efficient technologies and materials right into the blueprints of a new structure. Before the first brick is laid, integrated computer models can simulate how the building will consume energy throughout an entire year. They can even suggest building components like super-efficient windows, compact fluorescent lighting, or other systems that may improve the overall energy performance. Computerized tools can help manage and monitor the construction process, fine-tune the building operation just before occupants arrive, and help efficiently operate the building once it is fully occupied. Similar tools can provide big savings in existing buildings. A computer-based management and control system connected to monitors and sensors retrofit into the heating, cooling, and lighting systems can cut energy costs dramatically. In some instances, energy bills have already been cut up to 50%. Unlike a human, online sensors can maintain a constant dialogue 24 hours a day with a central computer that analyzes and reacts to the data round the clock. These sensors can instantly alert building technicians if there's a problem. In the future, smart systems may be able to self-diagnose some problems and fix many of them by appropriate adjustments in the operation of the building. Even when all systems appear to be operating well, a building engineer can interact with the computerized model to simulate changes in hopes of finding further improvements for the comfort and productivity of occupants and reducing operating costs. It may never budge from its foundation, but a building's environment is a dynamic system. An energy design that can adapt to evolving occupant needs indoors and changing weather conditions may hold our resource consumption to a minimum. And if we can let the air out of overinflated energy bills, we just might leave that wolf breathless.
Recycle one bottle and you could save enough energy to run a 100-watt bulb for about 4 hours. Now that's a bright idea. Recycle and get involved with today's environment today.
We keep up with the Joneses, but in Roman times, keeping up with the Caesars meant using very expensive pots and pans made of lead. It was quite a trend until they discovered that lead causes brain damage. That metal is still causing problems. Watch this.
Heavy as lead. That's the awesome weight of the burden imposed on our environment from use of that heavy metal element. For years, lead entered our ecosystem through lead-based gasolines, paints, and batteries.
When lead gets into the air, food, or water, it can cause liver disease, brain damage, or stomach cancer. Now that we know the threat from lead is a clear and present danger, we need to find better ways to control its use.
Most lead paints have been banned in the United States, and modern engines run on unleaded gasolines. But lead-acid batteries are still the most prevalent rechargeable battery in use today. You can find at least one in nearly every car, truck, and boat, and major computer networks use them to prevent the loss of power during an electrical failure.
Recycling dead batteries, it can help keep the lead from weighing down our environment. And now a new technology to extend battery life may dramatically reduce the number of these cells entering the waste stream.
This patented technology, developed by Pulse Charge Systems, is found in a variety of products that can often extend a battery's life by 50% or more. These products work with existing battery chargers and generate a proprietary pulse that renews the lead battery plates. In a lead-acid battery, a positive plate and a negative one, made out of lead, are submerged in an electrolyte solution of sulfuric acid. When fresh, the entire surface of the metal comes into full contact with the acid solution, and the electrical current flows free and strong. Over time, a process called sulfation builds up sulfate crystal deposits that cling to the surface of the plates. Sulfation constantly reduces the metal exposed to the electrolyte, and eventually the battery simply dies. Now imagine a great singer shattering glass with a piercing high note. That's what pulse technology does to the sulfate crystals. The vibration frequency literally shatters the deposits off the lead plate, and they dissolve back into the electrolyte solution. This not only extends a battery's life, it allows the recharge to be more efficient by as much as 30%. A new pulse device in development called the Smart Cable might extend the life of your car battery beyond the life of your car. As the environmental demand for electric vehicles soars, advancing battery and charging technology stands out as an important key to the consumer acceptance of this cleaner means of transportation. If an innovative system can extend battery life, increase performance, and conserve energy, it just may help our environment to keep going and going and going.
Doctors often face the question, what do you treat, the cause or the symptoms? With polluted groundwater, it's the same dilemma. Do we treat the water or attack the cause of the problem? This next idea takes aim at the cause. Let's watch.
A nice hot bath, one of our favorite ways to get clean.
You know, it might seem too simple, but good old hot water might also be a great way to clean soil contaminated with oily wastes. Organic chemicals like creosote, coal tars, PCP solutions, and petroleum byproducts often get into the soil and migrate through the soil into groundwater aquifers.
That's what's happened below the surface of this remediation site, but these wells might put a stop to that contamination. They represent a technology called Contained Recovery of Oily Wastes, or CROW, developed by Western Research Institute. In a process similar to ones used for recovering oil from depleted wells, this technique uses wells to inject steam and hot water into the contaminated ground and aquifer, and others to pump it back out with the organic contaminants. The steam and hot water heat the soil and make the contaminants less viscous or more mobile, so that they will migrate with the hot water towards the production well, where they can be pumped to the surface and separated. The hot water also physically transports many contaminants out of the soil, and that makes the soil less toxic, so it improves the environment for microorganisms that degrade the pollutants naturally. The location for each well can be determined only after a thorough site characterization. The water from the injection wells must flow through the contaminated area to heat and mobilize the contaminant. The production well is placed to capture the injected water and mobilized contaminant.
Test data from Western Research Institute showed that organic removal rates can range from 60 to 80% with straight hot water, or 85 to 90% when biodegradable chemicals like surfactants are added to the water.
It is kind of ironic that a technology for the extraction of oil from aging reservoirs can be modified to remove organic contaminants accidentally released into the earth by people. One primary benefit of the system is that it works in situ, so it doesn't disturb above ground activities or expose the contaminants at the surface.
Across the nation, many manufacturing and refining sites exist over soils contaminated with organic liquids. Stopping those contaminants before they destroy our groundwater looms as a major challenge to environmental technology. And with all the brilliant minds and high-tech tools engaged in the pursuit of a solution, we may find that a good hot bath is a great remedy for what ails Mother Nature.
Your diet can have an impact on the environment. We're here at the Land at Epcot Center at Walt Disney World. Did you know that growing grains, vegetables, and fruits uses less than 5% as many raw materials as it takes to raise meat? How can we grow our food without eating up our resources? This might help.
Today's fastest growing cash crop may be the 3-bedroom tract home. And as populations spread, their communities can encroach on wetlands. All too often, these vital wetland habitats get drained, filled, and developed to satisfy our ever-increasing demand for space. The loss of as much as 95% of wetlands habitat in some regions has seriously reduced the migrating waterfowl populations.
Fortunately, many individuals in the agricultural community are doing something about it. And many U.S. rice growers are adopting practices that improve both their crops' performance and their stewardship of the environment.
One planet-friendly practice emerging throughout the rice-growing industry is completely for the birds. Rather than using the traditional method of burning the chaff after the field is harvested, many growers now flood their rice fields in the winter to provide wetlands habitat for migratory waterfowl. Every year, the waterfowl make a globe-spanning trek south from Arctic breeding grounds, and wetlands along the way provide much-needed food and rest. Using the rice fields for this purpose makes great sense, since they're already designed to hold water. And unharvested rice grains provide a bonus feast of about 300 pounds of food per acre that adds to the natural food supply. Impounding water on a rice field after harvest also gives rise to a whole new food chain. Invertebrates like snails, annelid worms, and seed shrimp materialize and add a high-protein supplement that the birds love. By managing their farms with waterfowl in mind, rice growers are actually expanding the nation's wetlands habitat. Since 1993, migratory waterfowl numbers have risen dramatically. And while they fill their bellies, the birds do the farmers a favor by trampling the rice straw, which helps in its decomposition. In addition to providing waterfowl habitat, the cultivation of rice can enhance water and air quality. Water used to irrigate rice often returns to the environment cleaner than when it was first drawn into the fields. The Rice Producers National Waterfowl Habitat Program, managed by the USA Rice Federation, may become a national model for agriculture working with the environment. Rice farmers are working with national conservation groups and local conservation initiatives to help expand the use of more rice land after harvest as habitat.
Currently, about 10% of U.S. rice acreage is used to provide these winter habitats. Now, the program's goal is to expand these conservation practices to 1 million rice acres.
Using harvested rice fields as winter wetlands is helping migratory waterfowl and other species thrive once again. More people eat rice as the staple of their diet than any other crop in the world. And now, this mainstay of the human diet might also be considered an important environmental supplement.
In many ways, the coral reef is to the ocean what the tropical rainforest is to the land. Thousands of species of fish and other creatures feed on the algae, bacteria, and other microorganisms. The biodiversity and productivity of these habitats is equally as abundant as in the tropical rainforest. And, like the rainforest, pristine coral reefs face environmental horrors every day. Humans are only one species on the Earth, but our lifestyle threatens every other creature who shares the planet with us. There is hope. And the stories you've just seen broadcast to you from the Walt Disney Resort near Orlando, Florida, are evidence of that. Join us again next time as we explore more environmental solutions on Today's Environment.
Epcot 95 is located at the Walt Disney World Resort near Orlando, Florida. Accommodations provided by the Buena Vista Palace, Walt Disney World Village. If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.